What if, tomorrow morning, you woke up and the world you knew was gone? Not through war or disaster, but through a single, stunning revelation. A truth that renders every human conflict, every ambition, every worry, suddenly insignificant. The ultimate question, whispered for centuries in our science, our philosophy, and our fiction, has finally been answered. We are not alone. But the answer isn't what we hope for. It's not a single, elegant ship arriving in peace. It's not a cryptic message of enlightenment. It is something far older, far larger, and far more alien. A hive has been detected. A biological, planet-sized network, moving through the void with a singular purpose we cannot yet comprehend. The silence of space has been broken. And now, everything is different. The first phase is a global paradox of euphoria and terror. For decades, we've scanned the heavens for a signal, a whisper, a sign that we share this universe. And now we have it. The scientific community is electrified. This is the single greatest discovery in human history. It's a chance to understand a completely different form of life, to learn the secrets of the cosmos. Initial reports, filtered through overwhelmed government agencies, describe the hive not as a fleet of ships, but as a single, cohesive superorganism. A living, thinking entity on a scale that defies our biology. But for the corridors of power in Washington, London, Beijing, and Moscow, this is not a discovery. It is an arrival. And with every arrival comes the oldest question of all, friend or foe? We project our own history onto them. Are they explorers, driven by the same curiosity that sent us to the moon? Or are they conquerors, seeing our resource-rich, water-heavy world the way European colonists saw the New World, a prize to be taken? The hive's nature is the terrifying unknown. It doesn't communicate with individuals. It doesn't send ambassadors. It simply is. It exists, it moves, it grows. The hope for a wise, benevolent elder race begins to fade, replaced by a cold, primal fear. We may not be dealing with peers. We might be dealing with something more akin to a force of nature, an insect colony to which a single human life, or even our entire species, is utterly irrelevant. The threat is not what we imagine from our movies. It's not about green lasers vaporizing monuments, at least not at first. The threat is more insidious, more fundamental. First, there's the threat of scale. Humanity operates on the level of the individual. We think, we feel, we act as 8 billion distinct minds. The hive is one. If we were to attack it, destroying one of its thousands of organic vessels would be like us swatting a mosquito. To the hive, it might not even register as an attack. It's a being that thinks on a geologic timescale. How can we, a species that panics when the stock market dips for a week, possibly strategize against an intelligence that may have been navigating the stars since before our ancestors walked upright? Our most powerful weapons might be nothing more than a nuisance. Second is the resource threat. Why are they here? The most logical and most terrifying answer is that they need something our planet has. Our water. Our atmosphere. Our unique position in the habitable zone. They may not be evil. They may not hate us. A logging company doesn't hate the forest it cuts down. It just needs the wood. In this scenario, we are not the enemy. We are simply in the way. This is a threat you cannot reason with, a conflict born not of malice, but of necessity. Their survival might require our extinction. And finally, the most immediate threat is to ourselves. the world would fracture. Economies would evaporate overnight. The global supply chain would shatter. Paranoia would become the air we breathe. Who is collaborating? Who is hoarding? Our own social fabric, stretched thin by politics and inequality, would tear apart. The aliens wouldn't need to fire a single shot. We would begin to destroy ourselves, consumed by fear of the unknown in the sky and fear of the known in our neighbor's house. Now, forget the governments. Forget the generals and the scientists. Let's talk about you. You are not a soldier. You are not a world leader. You are a person in your home, watching this unfold on a screen, just like you are now. The abstract threat becomes intensely personal. Your first instinct is shock, then a frantic search for information. You're glued to the news, scrolling through social media feeds filled with rumors, conspiracies, and genuine terror. But the official channels are vague, offering platitudes and telling you to remain calm. You realize, with a cold certainty, that no one is coming to save you. You are on your own. And then, the real questions hit. The questions that matter. Are your children safe? Where's your partner? Do you have enough food and water to last a week? A month? Do you have a first aid kit? Do you know your neighbors? More importantly, do you trust them? Your choices become stark and immediate. Do you hunker down? Barricade your doors, seal your windows, and try to ride it out, becoming an island in a sea of chaos? This is the instinct to protect your own. Or do you flee? Do you get in the car and drive, heading for the countryside, for the mountains, away from the cities which will inevitably become flashpoints of panic and violence? But where do you go? And what dangers lie on the road ahead? Then comes the moral test. Your neighbor, an elderly man you've only ever nodded to, knocks on your door. He's out of food. He's scared. Helping him means depleting your own carefully rationed supplies. It means making your family slightly less secure. In a world without rules, without a safety net, what is the right thing to do? Your answer to that question defines who you are in this new, terrifying world. As individuals make their choices, humanity as a whole faces its own crossroads. All our options are gambles, with our very existence as the stakes. First, there is the path of resistance. The path of defiance. We fight. We unite as a species, putting aside all our petty differences. We turn our collective genius, our capacity for innovation and violence, towards the enemy in the sky. It's the heroic story we tell ourselves in movies. Humanity, the underdog, raging against the dying of the light. But it could be a species-wide suicide pact. A glorious, defiant, and final act before we are scoured from our own planet. Is our pride worth annihilation? Second, there is the path of compromise. Can we communicate? Can we negotiate? Perhaps the Hive doesn't need the whole world. Perhaps we can offer it our oceans, or the vast, empty deserts, in exchange for our survival. We could become a protected species on our own planet, a tenant in our ancestral home. This path requires an almost impossible leap of faith. It requires us to trust a being whose mind is utterly alien to us. The risk of being deceived, of being placated while they prepare to consume everything, is immense. But it may be the only path to survival. And then there is the third, most difficult path. The path of the lesson. What if the arrival of the Hive is not an end, but a beginning? What if its presence is a cosmic mirror, forcing us to look at ourselves? Forcing us to realize that our divisions, our wars, our hatreds are the games of children in an adult universe. The lesson is humility. The lesson is that we are a small, fragile, and deeply interconnected part of a cosmos far grander and more terrifying than we ever imagined. Perhaps survival isn't about fighting or bargaining. Perhaps it's about finally growing up. The Hive is out there. It is a hypothetical, for now. But the questions it forces us to ask are very real. They are questions about our nature, our priorities, and our future. So, I ask you, in a world where the sky is no longer empty, what is your first thought? When you are stripped of everything but your own character, what choice do you make? And when humanity stands at the precipice, do you advocate for the fist, the open hand, or the contemplative mind? Let us know your genuine thoughts in the comments below. This is a conversation worth having. What would you do? If this journey into the unknown has made you think, please give this video a like and subscribe for more explorations into the biggest questions we face. Share this with someone you want by your side if the sky ever did fall. Thank you for watching.